Okay. All right, guys, welcome. Let me put this in the live chat. Do not work for free. There we go. Oh, this is so interesting. It kind of looks like I had a bow on top of my head because decorations actually match. But let's get into it, guys. So you guys may or may not have seen my previous video about the casting from Gucci and the fact that they were offering no monetary compensation for their models for the editorial shoot. And in the email, they said, such is the case for high fashion. Hey, Fable Lily, welcome, welcome. Guys, go subscribe to Fable Lily. She's amazing. And they said, such is the case for high fashion editorials. Can you guess? First and foremost, I don't think there's anyone who has not heard of Gucci because I have told this story on other platforms and other people were shocked too. People deserve to be paid for their time. Can you guess how much Gucci is worth, the net worth of the company? $18.2 billion. So if Gucci is worth $18.2 billion, why can't they pay their models for the editorial shoot? They got the documentary on TV. Oh, thank you so much for bringing that to my attention. I appreciate it. I mean, this is such an iconic brand. I think Lady Gaga is the documentary out yet, or is it coming out, or which one is it? I don't know which one. I don't know if the Gucci documentary is out or if it's coming out, but they're an iconic brand, okay? It is the House of Gucci. We've all heard of Gucci. And, it's not just them, okay? But I specifically have the casting that shows that they're offering no monetary compensation for this 6-page editorial in a magazine. Why can't you pay people for their time? You're Gucci. You have the money. You have $18.2 billion, right? You can pay people for their time. And, oh, hold on. My pearl, okay, it's doing the right kind of dangling now. People's time is valuable. Ah, okay. Yeah, people's time is valuable. Why not pay people? Like, when people are first starting out in the business, they'll do like student films and work for students and walk in their fashion shows for free to get some experience. But you're Gucci, right? You could really afford to pay people. And what really got me in the email, if you guys go and you look at the previous video, what really got me about the email is that they said, such is the case for high fashion editorials. I want you to think of how many models have worked for exposure. Exposure is another word for exploitation. That is exactly what it is. What a lot of you guys don't know is that there are a lot of models who are in debt. Yes, they're in debt. They're borrowing money against their agencies. I don't know if anybody here has ever seen America's Next Top Model, but that is like their actual living situation. Like they're living in these cramped apartments with a bunch of other models, and everybody is just really hoping and praying that they make it. And a great way to help models make it is to pay them. Pay them for their time. I want you guys, when you get a chance, to go Google work for exposure or working for exposure. That's going to bring you the proper results. Working for exposure. Models are asked to work for free. Actors are asked to work for free. Photographers are asked to work for free. I was watching a video of a gentleman when I had Googled it. And he's in England. So this is like happening everywhere. That's the real pandemic right there. That's an epidemic. I'm sorry. That is an epidemic. People wanting people to work for free. That is a sickness. People should not have to work for free. You have the money, pay them. And he was talking about how they wanted the photographers to work for free. A lot of you guys don't know this, but there was a show 10 years ago that I was supposed to do. And they wanted, I guess like for people to do like a mini interview. And in addition to the fact that, no, I'm sorry. They were going to film you. No, I was correct. They were going to film you. You were going to do a little mini interview, and they were going to use your pictures here on the billboards in New York City. Like when we take the trains and stuff, we have like little advertisements on it, which costs money. The television network is making money. The photographer is making money. The casting director is making money because you didn't connect with the talents for free. You have to pay the billboard people so you can advertise in their space, but simply the actors are not getting paid. And I actually had someone tell me that it was silly of me to not do it because then I would have been on this billboard. And I'm like, yeah, but they're not paying people. And if I go and I do it for free, then these other television networks are going to think that I'll work for them for free too. Because what you guys don't understand is that people have a list and they keep that list. They don't keep that list so that they can pay you in the future. No. They keep that list so they could pass around to their cheap friends and say, hey, listen, this person did a gig for me and I didn't have to pay them. Try to see if you can get them to work for you. I'm tired of it. There was another photographer who said that this woman wanted him to, new actors aren't getting paid. Some new actors don't get paid. I'm going to get to that in a second. There was a photographer. Why? Because people are cheap and they exploit people. There was a photographer, when I Googled working for exposure, you can find his story as well, where a woman who was getting married wanted him to cover her entire wedding from her getting dressed right up to the reception for free. Do you think photographers don't have to eat? Do you think that they don't have bills? I'm trying to understand. Now, when you say new actors don't get paid, let me be very, very specific. When new actors are starting out, actors need something called a reel. And one of the best ways for you to get a reel is to do a student film. Students don't have any money. It's better to do a graduate student's film though, because the undergraduate students, they don't give you the material that you need. But you'll do a student film for them. You can get the material that you need for the reel. And also you could do test shoots with a photographer. That's for the models because you need certain images for your portfolio. But of course, nobody wants to do free work forever. Nobody wants to forever do things for free. I could not believe, I'm very accomplished in my career. I have been on major television networks. And I even had somebody ask me to work for them for free. And it's like, why would I want to do that? I'm a content creator. I make money just by uploading videos, right? LeVar Price. Oh my gosh, LeVar, it's been so long. Honey, where have you been? I missed you. I was just talking about Gucci and how they don't want to pay their models. Welcome back, guys. LeVar is amazing. It just amazes me how people think you want to work for free. Now, actors, after they get their reels and, after maybe doing an independent film or two, they're not going to work for free, nor should they have to. Okay. People have bills, people have lives. Nobody wants to work for free. I don't understand this. Like, who sits in a room and says to themselves, you know what actors want to do? Work for free. No, we don't. You know what artists want to do? Work for free. No, we don't. Pay people their time. Pay people for their time. Their time is valuable. And seeing the fact that Gucci does it, you know that there are other major fashion brands that do it. And I know that there are other major fashion brands that do it because I was watching videos from models who were talking about their financial situation and how they're struggling. And how some of these designers, they don't want to pay them. They'll give them like free clothes and pictures for their portfolio, and that's it. Like, are you kidding me? Let me let you guys know something right now. I just got a text message. I'll answer that later. Any acting gigs that you have ever seen me in, just know that I got paid for them. I don't work for free. And I know people who have worked for exposure and their career is not any further than mine. You are literally allowing people to exploit you. That is what you are doing. You are allowing people to exploit you. Exposure is another word for exploitation. Imagine what job you have right now, right? Some of you guys may be accountants, lawyers, maybe you're teachers or whatever it is that you do. But imagine your employer coming to you and telling you, we can't afford to pay you, but you'll get exposure. Most people would look at them like they are crazy. But for whatever reason, when you work in the industry, nobody talks about this sort of exploitation. Like the Me Too movement is covering, the sexual abuse that is happening in the industry, which is good. But nobody talks about the financial abuse that happens in the industry. This is absolutely terrible. Pay people for their time. Why is that so difficult? Especially when you have the money. I don't work for free. In the future, if anyone wants to recommend me for a gig, you have to pay me. I don't know why people think, people work for free. I don't get it. Like, I think people sometimes they get, oh, no, here's really a funny one. When somebody tells you they'll pay you an exposure and nobody knows who they are. How can you offer me exposure if nobody knows who you are? You don't have a following on any social media. It's not okay that Gucci does it, but at least Gucci has a name. No one knows who you are, but you want people to work for exposure. And let me tell you something. I know influencers who have millions of followers and they don't like sharing their platform. So that's a lie right there in itself. They're going to pay you and exposure is a lie. Either they're going to pay you or they're not, but they don't have exposure to give you. Makes absolutely no sense. All of my social media platforms combined, I have 100K with all my social media platforms combined. So why would I work for free? I want to thank you guys for your time. I want you to join me on Fanbase. I have left Instagram and I'm going to make a video probably tomorrow on why it is that I left Instagram, another platform that thinks people want to work for free. But that's okay because we have the Clock app and we have Fanbase. Now that there's competition in town, we don't have to put up with Instagram's nonsense. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you for liking and have a wonderful day.